Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This report is on SmackDown, NXT, and Internet Superstars. And some brief news on WWE. It was announced at the SmackDown tapings that Titus O'Neil and Darren Young have been added to the SmackDown roster. The duo has been stuck on the never-ending season of NXT. It's been a long road back for Young, who was a member of Nexus at one time. WWE is advertising a pair of dark matches for the show, but some of it's old, like 8 months old, and as the dated and matches, the one match will not definitely not take place because of an injury. The O2 Arena website was advertising Daniel Bryan versus Big Show for the World Heavyweight Championship. And then they were advertising Randy Orton versus the injured Wade Barrett in a street fight. Well, everybody knows it. That ain't happening. Happy birthday goes to Hall of Famer Roderick Toombs, a.k.a. Roddy Piper. Turned 58 years old today. He was born April 17th, 1954. Piper is a member of the WWE Legends Housecast and appeared on last week's live SmackDown. For those who missed it, Piper's Pit segment with Daniel Bryan was a highlight of an otherwise lousy show. And another happy birthday goes out to former WWE wrestler Nails the Convict, a.k.a. Kevin Washholz. Turned 53 years old today. He was born April 17, 1958. He also wrestled as Mr. Magnificent, Kevin Kelly. He snubbed a young Jason Powell, who was doing the reports for ProWrestling.net, who was back then roughly 10 or 11 years old. During one of his first AWA appearances, a young Jason asked for an autograph at a spot show, but Kelly claimed he injured his arm wrestling in a match. Seconds later, young Jason spotted Mr. Magnificent signing autographs for a group of attractive young girls. I thought he was a dick at the time, but I learned to appreciate the move as I got older. Well, they had the dark match prior to SmackDown tapings, or actually Raw, was Dean Ambrose defeating Alex Riley. Again, the post-show dark match was CM Punk beating Chris Jericho by DQ, and then in a brief match that featured a slew of run-ins by faces and heels. Okay, other news. Former WWE star Shane Hurricane Helms and WCW superstar Shane Helms, or Gregory Helms, 3 count, at Shane Helms.com on Twitter, is teaming up with True TV's Lizard Lick Towing as Ronnie, Amy, and Bobby offer fans a chance to win a monster truck. Yes, a monster truck. All proceeds from this raffle go to the Canaan Bunn Foundation, whose mission is to provide funding to promote research for Down syndrome and the many medical issues and life changes that individuals with DS face, including leukemia, heart ailments, Alzheimer's, vision, and hearing losses. Tickets can be purchased at lizardlicktowing.com. Click on the Monster Truck raffle located on the home page. The drawing will be held on May 2nd when the cast of Lizard Lick Towing appears on Helms' internet talk show, Highway to Helms. H2H returned last week and powered its way into the number 3 spot on the Video Sports Podcast list, beating out UFC and HBO. Thanks to Lee Thompson, who was at the SmackDown tapings, and he posted one set of viewings, one set of results for the SmackDown NXT and Superstars. He says much of the top section of the arena was tarped off compared to Raw on Monday. Thus, it was not a sellout. The crowd seems lively, as always, in London. And the dark match Antonio Cesaro defeated a local wrestler. That's if you don't know. Oh, you didn't know? I'm fixing to tell you so. Cesaro is a former Ring of Honor wrestler superstar, Claudio Castagnoli, who won a match with a version of a falling forward pile driver. And your NXT taping, match number 1, Percy Watson defeated Johnny Curtis. Crowd was very quiet for the opener. There was no reaction for either wrestler. Even though NXT airs on TV in the UK, the biggest cheer so far was William Regal coming out for commentary. Watson won a longer match with a reverse F5 type of move. Okay, Regal asked Curtis to sit next to him on commentary during the Divas match, which was up next. Match number 2, Maxine defeated Caitlyn. Maxine won by submission. Regal made Maxine the official manager of Johnny Curtis. He said they would be both fired if that didn't happen. Titus O'Neil and Darren Young were shown backstage. They received a letter stating that they both been drafted to SmackDown. Matt Striker was shown with a smiling Kurt Hawkins. Tyler Rex beat Kurt Hawkins. Regal made the match and said that the loser would be fired. He named Striker the special referee. The crowd seemed more into this than the other matches since there was more on the line. Rex dominated the match and won with a roll-up. Striker punched Hawkins after the match, and the crowd sang goodbye. Just like the video that was on the after show of Raw. Yes, there was a YouTube video of the dark match on Raw. You can also go to Ringside News and probably a few other sites that the link was on. Regal then announced that he was firing Rex also. Referees escorted both men away to close the show. Alright, Lee again is the Superstars match. Jinder Mahal defeated Yoshitatsu. Jinder won with a submission move, the camel clutch. Alright, Botchmania Lillian Garcia came out as he tripped over the fireworks on the ramp. I guess he got too close to the edge of the ramp. This got the biggest laugh out of the crowd. Main event was announced as Sheamus, Randy Orton, and the Great Khali versus Mark Henry, Cody Rhodes, and Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan came out to cut the promo to open the show. He received a great pop to start the show. He delivered a good promo about his Extreme Rules pay-per-view match with Sheamus. There were a lot of Borgasm chants. AJ interrupted to talk to Bryan about their problems. Bryan was in proper heel mode and said he wishes she had never been born. He left AJ in the ring crying. Natalya defeated AJ by DQ in the first match. AJ snapped and attacked Natalya after the match. Prior to the match, AJ was disqualified for ignoring the referee's count while attacking her in the corner. Natalya bled and the paramedics had to clean it up with towels. It looked like a hard way to bleed. Damien Sandow was shown on the big screen as he did a segment and delivered probably the same speech for the last 3 weeks. Match number 2, Brodus played, Funkasaurus with Hornswoggle defeated Hunico with Camacho. A squash match against. Brodus won with a big splash. Afterwards, Hornswoggle hit the tadpole splash. Everyone loves Funkasaurus, and he and Hornswoggle were super over. Hunico got some respectable heat when he came out too. Alright, Titus O'Neil and Darren Young were shown backstage with Teddy Long and John Laurinaitis. Laurinaitis confirmed that they have been signed to SmackDown. Matt Striker interviewed Randy Orton backstage. They recapped his problems with Kane. Orton revealed that they will meet in a Falls Count Anywhere match at Extreme Rules. Match number 3, Titus O'Neil and Darren Young got their first match on SmackDown and defeated the Uso brothers. Titus got the pin for his team after a tag team finisher that was similar to the Heart Attack clothesline, only with Young jumping off the top rope before hitting the clothesline. Okay, kind of like well, if you're on the top rope, you come off with a clothesline spear. Okay, match number 4, Alberto Del Rio pinned Big Show in a non-title match. Big pops for both wrestlers. Cody Rhodes ran in and hit Show with a beautiful disaster kick while the referee was distracted. Show was mad and went after Cody, who escaped through the crowd. Match number 5, Ryback beat Danny Merman. Another squash match. He won the squash match with the same finisher he's been using. He received no reaction and got some boos as the match went on. Crowd seemed to feel sorry for the local wrestler. Ryback looks intense. He just doesn't connect with the audience. Well, he's supposed to have a futuristic character. And his ring gear is not very futuristic. And the way he's doing it, I think he needs some lasers, kind of like Glacier kind of entrance, futuristic character. If that gives WWE any clue. Well, that's just my opinion. Okay, William Regal and Teddy Long were shown backstage. Teddy has been dressed Beefeater and isn't allowed to speak. Antonio Cesaro was introduced to John Laurinaitis, who took him inside his office to discuss a contract. Alexander was also with Laurinaitis, and the story is that Johnny is hiring new talent for SmackDown. Well, that would be three new guys. But just to remember, the draft is coming up. So how long will they last? 3 new guys could be back on Raw. Okay, the six-man tag main event introduction started. Cody Rhodes attacked Great Khali. Khali limped back to the locker room. So it looks like a handicap match now. Sheamus, Randy Orton, and Big Show defeated Daniel Bryan, Mark Henry, and Cody Rhodes. It was going to be a handicap match, but Big Show came out to take Khali's place. Sheamus took the beat down from the heels early on, and it was a lengthy match with the faces each eventually taking beatings from the heels. There was a lot of Borgasm as we want Bryan and even some Bryan sucks chants. Orton hit RKO on Henry and pinned him to win the match. The TV show ends with the 3 baby faces celebrating. It was a really good match that the crowd was really into. Orton and Bryan are super over. And in the dark match main event, Randy Orton defeated Kane in a no disqualification match. There were 2 dark matches advertised. Of course, well, that was the only one because, well, actually they did have another one. Instead of the Wade Barrett match, Randy Orton had Kane match. Sheamus beat Daniel Bryan for the World Heavyweight Championship. The crowd was chanting the Borgasm chants with passion, as they have all night. Sheamus pinned Bryan in roughly another 18-second match. Repeat of the 20 WrestleMania match. And that concluded the event. And now for the second report. Given by Matt from Aylesbury. And he's a PW Torch reader. And he said the upper deck of the hard camera side, which was normally pretty full, was completely tarped off. That means nobody up there. And the lower tiers were fairly empty. Opposite the hard camera was pretty much packed. Of course, they're going to make everybody move to one side or the other. To make it look full. There were a lot of kids wearing the new Cena t-shirt. You know the green one that actually quite a few wearing the most recent CM Punk t-shirt as well. The reporter noticed quite a few people wearing Brock Lesnar shirts as well. If you didn't know, go to Ringside News or ProWrestling.net, and you can see some pictures of the new ring gear for Brock Lesnar. As they go to the dark match, Antonio Cesaro beat the UK kid named Antonio. berating the English and got a decent amount of heel heat and felt like the only person in the building cheering him. Kid got a pretty decent ovation since he's local, which I guess was mostly based on the fact that he is English. After the NXT and Superstars taping, it was finally time for SmackDown. Well, he missed that portion. But people he was talking to when he got back said Lillian Garcia came out to the ring, tripped over the pyros on the stage, properly tumbled to the ground. Throughout the night, there seemed to be a few "you fell over" chants going on. And now for your spoilers from this report. The show started with yet another awesome Daniel Bryan heel promo. He covered the typical ground that he'll win the 2 out of 3 falls match at Extreme Rules, and there was no chance for Sheamus to get a fluke win. Then AJ came out. She tried to reason with him again, but he tore into her and told her he wished he'd never gone out with her and she'd never been born. He may not be the nicest man at the moment, but his promo work is excellent. After Bryan left, AJ hung around looking upset before Natalya came out for a match with her. Natalya beat AJ by DQ, the bell rang, but AJ stood there looking upset. Natalya tried to console her, but AJ hit her in the face and unleashed her tiny fury on Natalya in the corner before running off, looking even more upset. Not sure how they play it on SmackDown, but sure they ever really acknowledged any sort of ending for the match. Match number 2, Funkasaurus beat Hunico. It was announced as a tag match initially, but that didn't happen during Brodus' entrance. He stopped the music, and he demanded his little brother come out. Well, cue Hornswoggle, wearing the red tracksuit. The kids loved it, and that's all I can really say about that. Also of note, after Hunico and Camacho made their entrance for the previous match, there was another Damian Sandow promo before Brodus came out, which seemed like interesting timing, as they could have just waited a couple of minutes for the match to be over. So I wonder how they play it on TV. Is it an interruption? We'll just have to wait and see. And see how the difference between the two so far. That's why I always look for 2 or 3 and give both. That way, y'all can decide which way, or which may be right, which may be wrong. Okay, next up, Titus O'Neil and Darren Young mocked Teddy Long backstage before John Laurinaitis coming up and made Teddy wear a Buckingham Palace Guard hat. He told him that, like the guards, he mustn't speak. Well, that's a little bit different as well than the previous report. Randy Orton was interviewed backstage about Kane attacking his dad. He said his dad is the toughest man he knows and that he'll face Kane in a Falls Count Anywhere match at Extreme Rules. Another different report. Match number 3, Darren Young and Titus O'Neil got their debut match on SmackDown, defeating the Usos in a perfectly timed toilet break match. Match number 4, Alberto Del Rio beat Big Show, non-title match, after Cody came out and hit Big Show with a beautiful disaster kick. While the referee was distracted after the match, Cody tried to attack Show, but when Show went to fight back, Cody ran off, of course. Some scrawny English guy coming to the ring and dedicated the next match to his mom, another different guy, another different report. And his opponent is none other than Ryback, who defeated him, did a couple of signature moves and won in less than a minute. Freakishly big in real life, possibly due to the WrestleMania diet that Wade Keller has talked of. Backstage, Oksana introduced Teddy to her new friend, the European rugby player Antonio Cesaro, Claudio Castagnoli, for those that don't know, from Ring of Honor, who had a meeting set up with John Laurinaitis. Unfortunately, Teddy couldn't say a word because he was wearing the Palace Guard hat. Yes, you read that right. Well, you heard that right. Palace Guard hat. Time for the main event, 6-man tag. World Heavyweight Champion Sheamus and Intercontinental Champion Big Show and Randy Orton defeated Daniel Bryan and Mark Henry and Cody Rhodes in a six-man match. Great Khali was originally supposed to be in this match, but Cody hit him in the leg before the match, so he couldn't take part. Fortunately, for all the kids that love him, Big Show stepped in and took his place. In the end, Randy Orton won the match for his team with an RKO on Henry. Despite being horrible to AJ earlier in the show, Daniel Bryan was over huge in the match, with people chanting, "We want Bryan," whenever he wasn't in the match. After the taping finished, there was a street fight between Randy Orton and Kane. Post-Arch match number 1, Randy Orton defeated Kane in a street fight. Orton won with a DDT onto a chair. Well, that's kind of like the drop toe hold Raven effect. It was like drop toe hold right on the chair. Well, it's a DDT on the chair. And match number 2, dark match, World Heavyweight Champion Sheamus defeated Daniel Bryan to retain the world title. Bryan talked up how flukily Sheamus was, that he'll never lose it that quickly again. Well, guess what? He lost again. As soon as Bryan put down the mic, turned around into the Brogue Kick, and Sheamus got the win in the same amount of time as it was at WrestleMania. 18 seconds. All in all, pretty decent show. Obviously designed to send the kids home happy, but it still had some pretty cool moments. I'm not sure how they will air on TV, but there were a lot of video packages for WrestleMania 28, new DVDs, and oddly, one quite long video that seemed to be all about hammering home the point that WWE is really nice company with all the charity work, shows for the troops, Make-A-Wish kids, that. And the biggest pops of the night, Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, William Regal during NXT taping. Biggest heat, Daniel Bryan, Cody Rhodes, and Alberto Del Rio, closely followed by Jinder Mahal during the Superstars taping. And that's my results for this week. Peace out. God bless.